Hey y'all, Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, right over here, Homestead Honey. There she is. What are you picking that comfrey for?
I'm picking this comfrey for Dad's little baby bull, and for my sheep, and for the layers, and some for the meat birds also.
Yeah, you notice how she said my little baby bull?
The little baby bull is spoiled.
No, he isn't. Anyway, we got the greatest Pyrenees, we got the greatest little Dexter out here. He's a little sweetie. Anyway, what I want to point out today is that day on the chicken tractor on steroids where everything moves. For us, it's Thursday, but you're going to see this on Friday. So, in a nutshell, it's compulsory at this point. This net is going to move to right here, and then the whole system's going to keep going down the hill. Now, I want to point out something real quick, y'all, is that the reason why you want everything in zones, you can see some of the comfrey that we harvested back there. It's kind of cool. We harvest everything in the zones that it's needed, and as we pull down the hill, it's already coming back. You can see her over here working it. So the beauty about, folks, I can't emphasize this enough. Keep your zones on lock. We've talked about it in our podcast. We've talked about it here. They will make you efficient. Do not govern how you farm on the basis of, sorry to offend some, no, I'm not sorry to offend anybody. I'm just telling you straight. If you're basing everything on where you put this and that on how you feel, you're going to make yourself very inefficient, and you're probably going to hate farming. So when we got the comfrey in very close proximity, it's really that simple. Taking it, throwing it right over. So as you can see, along this emerging orchard as we go down there, not only do it's a symbiosis. We're taking this finished compost, we're putting it around the trees over there, and at the same time, when we come back, we're taking comfrey, either feeding it to the chickens or putting it into the compost cage down there. I cannot emphasize it enough. All right, so with that said, y'all, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna basically move everything. You already know that part. And now we have got to figure out, and this is a good problem to have, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this next 1.5 cubic yards of compost.
But we gotta be a warrior too, cause that's just what warriors do. Baby, you cannot fool me with the eye. You get them every single time. I tell her shut up and try. Baby, you cannot fool me with the eye. You get them every single time. I tell her shut up and try. Staring up at Olympus, tight spear back of pretentiousness. Decades of vintage, no Babylon.
All right, y'all. So, just like normal, but people are getting this backwards. Always put your, oh, you just had to have some right now? Always put your carbon down first, which, by the way, came out of the inside of there. You got to have more, huh? So we'll go ahead, we'll freak them out a little bit. We'll go ahead and we got our carbon down. Now we're going to throw the comfrey. Remember, that's doing two things. The comfrey's feeding the birds. They're going to go nuts on it right now. And also the stems and everything else they leave back is going to act as an activator for this compost, okay? It's not absolutely necessary, but it helps. Because comfrey is also a bioaccumulator, well, all those minerals are going right back in here. That's exactly what we want. Now, here's the grub. We'll go ahead and get that in there. So there you have a feeding frenzy. We got one over here trying to get his protein right off. They'll get up here, get their carbs, and then they're gonna swing back and get that protein. Now, we put things a little bit out of order this morning, and we flipped the first pile. We wanted to get them out. It's too late in the day to leave them inside of a chicken tractor. So it makes it a little bit, ideally, y'all, make sure you remember this. It's better to flip your piles first, move them, get them out then. And the biggest reason why is at this age, if you try to move that tractor 1 foot, they're not gonna know how to get in at night for most breeds. So now what's gonna happen, oh, that was Justin, Metcalf Mills rolling by. Gonna have some pretty big surprises here before long, y'all. Look, folks, we're really putting a lot of emphasis on this system. And I'm not gonna belabor the point, but everybody knows that everything's on shaky ground. We better be coming up with ways to feed ourselves, our family, our friends, our neighbors, all that stuff. This system provides it all. That's why we are going through enormous detail to make sure we convey just how it can be done. And like I said, we got other playlists. Sorry, y'all, gnat or something flew in my eye just now. That's exactly why we're doing it. So think about it. In this system, for those that are new here, we're raising all these birds essentially for free. The initial cost of getting the birds, you could have easily have hatched them out and not had any real cost to think of. So they're out here getting fat. We're roughly about week 8. We're probably going to let them, depending on how I want to do it, depending on the behavior of the males, I'll probably, like I typically do with meat birds, or this type of bird, I'll let them run to about 16 weeks if I want to. The biggest thing is not so much for us that we need the meat, but we need the compost, okay? That's our biggest concern right now. Putting compost in that high tunnel, putting compost around these trees all before fall kicks in. So that's our bigger concern. So if I have birds that are a little bit tough, at the end of the day, it's meat. If it weighs, it pays. That's how we roll around here. We're gonna let these guys grub, we're gonna move that compost, and then we'll get back to it.
I'm a rebel like here, double helix intervening with Jesus. I'm a chimera looking at these golden years flying by fair false. They cutting it off for the food too. Analytics they used to recruit you. Wars of painting their sex on your son's zoo. They don't want the individual, just a carbon copy.
All right, y'all, just like that, got my cardio in for the day. Down over 20 pounds in no time at all. Feeling good, feeling great. We'll talk about that more in another video. So, this compost is looking fantastic. And I know you can't tell right now, but so far we've produced 4.5 cubic yards, counting this one right here. So far, 4.5 cubic yards of finished compost that we put inside the high tunnel, even dressed some of the trees with it, and then got some out by the front. By the way, that truck there, no, we didn't buy a new truck, that's a rental. Whole nother story altogether. All right, so we're gonna go down here and take a look. Oh, yeah, while I'm at it, just want to point this out. The deer basically decimated this thing. And I talked about it before, but I want to show you the recovery while we're here. They basically walked past all the other trees that had bone sauce on them. There was like 6 trees that I didn't have bone sauce on. And they walked past the ones that had it on there, decimated this thing. Well, went back, put the bone sauce on it, and while we're standing right here, new growth everywhere. Deer have not been back. So, little side note. So here we are at this point, y'all. Chickens are doing their thing, but I cannot emphasize the beauty of being able to do all this, produce all the eggs you need, all the compost you need, all the meat you need, right here in a system like this. So folks, if you haven't yet already, if you're feeling like physically I don't necessarily have the muscle to do it, enlist some people. It's not like you can't all sit down. Watch these videos, start to finish. We provided everything you need. Grow the comfort you need to help feed your birds, your feed everything with it. I mean, we even, to a certain extent, feed ourselves with it. It's even feeding these compost piles. All right, with that said, we're going to show you what we do with the piles that we have on the outside of this cage. All right, we talked about it in old videos, but I'm just going to cover it real quick. Watch out, puppy. We got that finished pile there, and we got remnants of what's left in this one here. Now, there have been times in the past where we couldn't use it right off. We didn't have a need for it right off. Or we were waiting on something like we are right now. Michelle has earmarked this pile to go in where the sweet potatoes, when they come out at the end of this month, that's where that pile is going to go, back up in there into the sweet potato, into where the sweet potatoes were. That's what we'll dress with it. So that means we got to wait. So in those positions, there is no problem at all taking a previous pile and combining it with the latest pile, put one big pile. We're going to flip it, we're going to aerate it, we're going to add some water to it, and we're going to stick a tarp over it all. Not a problem at all. Also, y'all, I'd be remiss, because I don't think we mentioned it in any of these videos so far, is that if you could take some of your finished compost, put it in your compost cage, it's only going to jumpstart the whole process. So remember, keep that in mind. All right, with that said, time to put it all together. Ain't that right, Bill? Wow.
This is Perma Pastures farm in action, where permaculture is my passion. We're gonna show you how to build a new world
All right, there you have it. That's a wrap. Ain't that right, milk boy? Yeah, he thinks so too. All right, y'all. So you can bank this stuff. Now, I will warn you, if you let it sit for too long, mice and field mice and everything else are going to want to make a home in there. So you don't want that to happen. But look, y'all, the sky is the limit. We've covered zoning. We've covered how you can use all these things to work like the fingers of your hand. In fact, right now, I do want to point out that we're growing enough tromboncinos and everything else, food waste and stuff, to where we could literally feed them entirely on what we have growing right now if we wanted to. That's really not the intent in this video. Maybe next time we do this iteration, that's exactly what we might have to do. Well, in light of things going on, that might be what we have to do. So anyway, we don't live in fear, y'all. Lord isn't giving us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And part of having that sound mind means you make sound decisions. Make sound, good farming decisions. That's what we want to do, right? All right, so if you need comfrey, you need bone sauce, rice knives, anything we sell, go to the website. Anything else, we got it down below. I think you're going to be digging the videos that we're going to come out as of late. We're going to be hitting more and more and more on the preparedness side of things. I think everybody kind of needs that right now. Maybe see it from our perspective. All right, y'all. Till next time, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, where permaculture is my passion. We'll see you next time.